So at the end of January, it was my 10-year anniversary for trading, and I put a post up on X detailing 41 bits of advice that I could think of. In this video, I'm just going to run through the top 10 bits of advice which I want to talk about from that thread, which I'll post in the description below so you can go to it. I kind of want you to think of this video as a bit more of a podcast episode, if you like, where I'm just going to ramble on about the 10 bits of advice and why I think they're important for you and my own experiences with them. So I think it's going to have a ton of value in it. Come back to it and revisit it where you think is necessary. Listen to it while you're working, listen to it while you're having a walk, whatever the case is. I am here with my cup of tea, so we're going to get through this together. Here we go. Yes, I'm 36 years old and I have a Dragon Ball Z mug. I have got some gunpowder peppermint tea, it's called, from my friend Luke. So Luke, if you're watching, thank you very much for that. I'm enjoying it a lot. I have written out the top 10 things here, which I'm going to run through. This is going to be an unpolished video. It's just going to be me talking to you and giving you a bit of advice from my experience. So in no particular order, really, although the last one, number 10, is worth waiting for or skipping to if you are if you are lacking attention span. But that one is a very important one, which I want to kind of end on. I will put them all up here as well so you can see the whole list. So let's just get into it. So the first one is keep yourself to yourself. Don't compare yourself to other traders and don't listen to anyone. When you start trading or you've been trading for a while and you've got IRL friends that know that you're trading and they've got nothing to do with it, they will get in the way. They will ask you about your progress. They won't understand how long it takes. Because from the outside, and even yourself when you pick up trading, you think you're going to just like put a few lines on the charts and, oh, you've got this magic indicator and you know this guy on YouTube or you know this guy on Twitter that's done really well with it. So you're going to do really well with it and it's just going to be a matter of time before that happens. But that's not the case. And the more people that are kind of harassing you about where's the money, how are you doing, have you made it yet, why are you not rich yet, it eats away at you and it will affect your mentality and it will make your trading worse. It will frustrate you. It will frustrate you not only in trading, but with your relationship with people, and it will make you kind of retreat into yourself and retreat away from them. But it's just, I've found a way. It's a personal game, trading. It's a completely subjective game where what you see on the chart is completely different to everyone else. Not just like a few people, but absolutely everyone else. The way that you trade will be completely different to everybody else that you come across, which is another reason not to compare yourself to others. Everyone's got their own background. Everyone's got their own life experiences. And trading really isn't just a money-making game. It's a self-improvement game, and the way that your mental state is at any given time is reflected on the charts. And everyone has their own issues. Everyone's got their own sort of emotional baggage. Everyone's got their own psychological problems. And if you compare yourself to the person that's making a ton of money, you don't know what their background's like. You don't know what their family life is like. You don't know what kind of childhood they've had. You don't know what kind of relationship they've got with other people. You don't know if they've had any education in finance before. Personally, I have not had any education in finance. Everything I've learned has been through just trial and error and many, many reps. So the person that you're comparing yourself to may have had like a really good upbringing versus you, like me, for example, who didn't have like the greatest childhood, who didn't have the greatest kind of adolescence period as well. And that really can affect how you view the markets and how you execute your trades and how you have your patience for trading is really, really key. And if you have problems from your personal life that show up in self-sabotaging ways, they're going to happen in the markets as well. Not everyone has them though. So the advice that I give, for example, is tailored, I think, more to a lot of people who have come into trading and kind of looked at it as an escape from their own reality that they're in. But not everyone is like that. So it makes no sense to compare yourself to other people. So just focus on what you're doing, keep yourself to yourself, like I said, and there's something kind of spiritual in kind of retreating into yourself and focusing on yourself and not looking for validation from other people and not even doing things for validation, because sometimes you may want to show someone something and it's not for the sake of your own progress, it's because you want a pat on the back for understanding something, for making a little bit of money or whatever it is. So yeah, even with other traders, they may be jealous of your progress as well. You have to be very mindful of that. That's something that has happened to me, and it's something that will happen to you if you are going along the same path as someone that you know, for example. So that's why I say don't listen to anyone, don't compare yourself to anyone, and just keep yourself to yourself. And eventually you'll find yourself putting up barriers and boundaries of other people and making a lot of progress. But no one else can get you to where you want to be other than yourself. Second bit of advice, chart time trumps everything, and to focus on 1,000 reps. The reason why I put a lot of stuff out for free on this channel, strategies and things like that, is because I know that even though the most basic pattern works, and I could show you it working over and over and over again, it's your own chart time and your own experience in internalizing that pattern that is going to make you successful. And that's the thing that people don't do. They want the quick fix, they want the hack, they want the magical indicator, they want the AI to help them find out what's the best strategy. But really, all it comes down to is seeing the same shit over and over and over and over, to the point where you see it forming and you know, because you've seen it so many times before, that the next thing that's going to happen is something that you've seen tens, hundreds times before. So when I say focus on 1,000 reps, I really truly believe that if you've got a strategy, if you've got a certain pattern you trade from price action, if you've got a certain indicator that you use, you're going to need 1,000 reps minimum before you get any level of mastery with it. You may get a success, and you will get a success with it beforehand, but seeing it thousands of times will give you an understanding that nobody can teach you, that you cannot get online anywhere. And it is a really, really boring answer, but it is literally the best way to becoming successful in trading. It's a really hard job, and I've thought in the past, when I've got like 50 reps of a strategy and you can see that it's profitable, you've made some money with it, I have thought, hey, I've made it. I'm done now. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to make tons of money. But once you hit that 1,000, you kind of look back on where you were at the beginning and think to yourself, hey, like I really didn't know anything. And when you go on social media and you speak to other traders, you can kind of tell who has put the time in and who hasn't. You can see who's full of shit and who isn't. Which again is why I say keep yourself to yourself and don't compare yourself to others. That level of dedication is really rare, I've found, in people. So if you really truly want something in trading, you will go and do that kind of time, and that will come from live trades, it will come from backtesting trades as well. But that's the number, I truly believe. Once you hit that, it's kind of like something glows in your head. You kind of understand something way better. And if you've got something else that you've got, another skill in, maybe playing a musical instrument, for example, or maybe a martial art, you will know that once you've done the same thing over and over and over again, that's when you get kind of a sixth sense for it, and that muscle memory builds. But you can't do it with like 100 reps, in my opinion. You can kind of get an understanding, but thousands a true sweet spot. And even then, when you get to 2,000, you're like, oh, okay, even 1,000 wasn't that great after all. So that kind of leads me on to my next point, number 3. If you lack self-belief, you will not find it in trading. Trading will bring you to your knees before it takes you to the promised land. Is a quote I remember seeing years and years ago, and that's very true. I've lacked self-belief. I'm 36 years old, and I lacked self-belief until I was like 34, 33 maybe, 33, 34. I did not find my self-belief in trading. I did not find my self-belief in money and business. You will find your self-belief by making promises to yourself and consistently sticking to your promises. You know, if you go to the gym or you go on a diet or whatever, and you get really motivated, you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to lose a ton of weight. I'm going to lose a load of body fat. I'm going to improve my physique. Or even if it's just, I'm going to write in my journal every single night, or I'm going to meditate every single day, or I'm going to go for a walk every single day. When it comes to those days when you don't want to do them, there'll be a voice in your head that says not to do it. And you can feed that voice, or you can push it to a side and go and do the thing that you said you're going to do anyway. And doing that thing consistently and sticking to your own word is what will give you self-belief. I think one of the big problems for traders is that they come into trading and they look for trading success to make loads of money as their way to prove to themselves that they're worthy of something. I've found, I've done that myself. I have found that chasing millions in trading is going to be worse for your self-belief than what you think it will be. But really, it's something that you have to find personally for yourself, that you know is something that is important for you, something that you know you want to do, something that you can do. And all you have to do is just prove yourself that you can do it over and over again. It could be something as simple as getting up and making your bed in the morning, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and being productive, cutting out a bad habit, anything like that. But once you have self-belief in one area, you can then take it to another area, and then you can bring it to your trading. And then those days when you take the losses or your P&L goes backwards, you can fall back on your self-belief that you've generated. Whereas if you don't have it, you're going to find yourself in a very sticky situation, and you'll blow accounts, you'll lose tons of money. And people always say about paying your education in the market through losses. Sure, but there is no real kind of like, when I said 1,000 reps with a strategy, there's no like go and lose 1,000 times and then boom, on your 1,000th time you've now like paid your dues and you're going to win. It's not like that. You can just lose forever. I know people that have been trading decades and they're still not successful with it. So with that, you have to find your self-belief elsewhere and then bring it to trading, which is why I always say to make trading a feature of your day, not your whole day. If you make trading your whole day and it's not a good day, it's going to bleed out to everywhere else in your life and make you more miserable. And once you're in a rut, it's really hard to get out of it, especially if you put your self-worth into trading. If you put your self-worth into trading, you miss shining a light on the issues that will improve your mindset because you're focusing on the wrong areas. This leads me to point 4. Record all of your data. Not just your trade journal, not just your backtesting results, not just like patterns, screenshots and all that. Record everything that you do. I showed you I've got my journal here. I record my mindset every single day. Nothing specifically that I want to write consistently every single day. I just literally write out what's on my mind. I can then use that information when I've gone through a losing period. I can look back in my journal at those times when I was winning and seeing what I was doing, seeing how I sounded like. But other than that, it could also be, are you going to the gym 5 times a week? Did you manage to record those days, maybe on an Excel spreadsheet, which is what I've done before, those days that you did go, those days that you didn't go, record things like if you went out for a walk, record things like your diet, your calories, all this type of thing. It sounds really autistic, to be quite honest, but all of this is vital information. Trading's a really, really hard thing to overcome. It's a really hard thing to consistently make money in. It's a really hard thing to make a lot of money in. All of this information is really, really key if you want to level up your trading, level up your accounts, level up in any particular way in your life. So I think everything that you do, from literally your mindset to your daily habits, you need to make a record of, so that you can always reference them in your down periods or during your, even during your good periods. It's all worth something. It may not seem it when you're recording it, but when you can look back on it, you may see, for example, like what I've done in the past, where I've set a daily routine for myself, where I have meditated every day, journaled every day, walked every day, read a book every single day, not a whole book, like 30 minutes. And then recording all of that in an Excel spreadsheet, ticking it off every single day. I use an app as well called Todoist, and you can build up a streak the same way that you can build steps, like 5,000 steps a day. In doing that, you can look back, and it does serve a purpose, not only for building reps, but like I said, for the previous point, it will help you build some self-belief to say, like, I can stick to something, and I can do it. And again, that will translate to your trading, because on those times when you feel like you can't do it, you'll be able to say in other areas where you have done things and you have made accomplishments that you can, as long as you follow a sort of similar process, you can bring that to your trading. So that's the psychological stuff. It's not all psychological stuff on this, but point number 5 is to narrow down your trading pairs. I used to trade high time frames and medium time frames around work, around business, just around my lifestyle basically. And I got obsessed with catching as many opportunities as I could. If something wasn't showing on one pair, that's fine, because I've got another 15 pairs that I can look at. That I've found gives you kind of like an analysis paralysis in a way. You kind of lose track of what you're looking for. You could mark something at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then not look at that chart for another 6 hours until an alert goes off. And then you've kind of forgotten what your original plan was, even if you've written it down. You kind of lose the feeling of being familiar with the chart. My results massively improved when I dropped down to 2 charts. I think with trading, every instrument has its own kind of personality. It moves in a certain way. I've got a pattern which I trade, or several patterns which I trade, and they perform differently on different markets. For example, what I do on gbpusd doesn't work on gold very well, which is really frustrating because gold fucking rips, and I cannot make it work. I mean, I probably could if I spent a lot of time doing it, but why would I want to move away from something that works? But you see my point. It is something where you build a sixth sense to what's going to happen. Like, you'll build a range, for example. You'll know when it fakes out, it'll look like it's going to rip south and then suddenly reverse, and you know it's going to continue going up. But also, coming to the charts each day, you know exactly where your trading pair is because you look at it every single day. You know what happened yesterday. You know what happened the previous day. And I've just found that building that relationship declutters your mind a lot, because you don't have tons of alerts going off. You don't have loads of different thoughts about different charts happening. You don't get pulled away from one opportunity to another, and you don't have to assess like, hey, which one should I take because this one looks better. I've just found it way, way better. So yeah, 11 out of 10 would recommend. Number 6, stick to trading certain hours only. This is more for intraday trading. I'm a day trader. I used to trade, like I said, higher time frames and be more of a swing trader. In that instance, if you're trading H1, you may only want to look at the charts at the close of every candle on the top of the hour. For day trading, I trade only certain hours. I trade the London session, pre-London, London, and then pre-New York. So about a 5.5 hour window that I trade in. That's to give myself some balance in life. Everyone says they want to come into trading for the freedom, but there is no freedom really, because you're kind of glued to the screen and the market kind of becomes your job. So to counter the fatigue that you get from sitting there all day, and I've done it, but everyone's done it, 12, 16 hour days, it's not productive. You have only a certain amount of mental energy that you can use each day effectively. And I've found condensing that into a particular window is way better for my P&L. It's way better for my life. And I know if something doesn't show up in this, say, 5 hour window, doesn't matter. I'll just come back tomorrow and something will present itself. If not then, and then the next day. But it takes away that desire to jump into as many opportunities and to go searching for opportunities constantly. It will allow you to perform at a higher level. Like I said, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 charts you're looking at because you know how they move, you'll be able to tell when not to trade as well. You'll be able to look at the chart and think to yourself that your edge won't come because you can see that the volume's not there, or a particular news event might be released later in the day. I have rules for that, for example. So trading it only in those certain hours gives you that balance, and it gives you some time later on in the day to do other things that will help your trading the next day, like the mindset stuff. So going for walks, doing some meditation, spending some time with family if you've got family. We all do it. Well, not all of us, because not all of us have families, but we all do it because we want money, we all want freedom and everything. But you actually have to give yourself that freedom and not be glued to the screen. You're trading one thing for another. If you become a full-time trader, for example. So yeah, that's a real key thing for me. I cut off at about 1:30, and then I'm done with trading. I close the screen, close the charts. I'm done with it. I don't care anymore. This is mostly because I've found that sitting there for too long will really impact my decision making for the worse. For the worse. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. Kind of branches into the next point. Don't rely on trading for income or to get you out of the rat race. Again, that desire to make loads of money will have you sitting at the chart doing stupid shit if you're focusing too much on trying to get money to get out of a particular lifestyle. The way to be really is to find happiness and enjoyment in your current situation. If you're not happy with your current life, trading is not going to make you happy. It kind of circles back to what I was saying before about your self-belief. You need to find happiness in your present situation, because trading could take 5 years, it could take 10 years, it could take 15 years. You never really know. And you're going to live your life tomorrow in the same way that you're living it today. So if you're not happy today, you're not going to be happy tomorrow, and trading won't make you happy tomorrow. So pushing for income from trading is like squeezing something really hard and then having it slip through your fingers. Of course, if you're working a 9 to 5, I understand. Like, I've been there. I understand the desire to get out of it. It's shit, and you can see people on social media talking about being full-time traders and how great it is. It's actually probably harder than a normal job, to be quite honest, because there's so many things, there's so much pressure you put on yourself, and there's so many intricacies that you need to maintain. But when you are, let's say you do go full-time trading and you have a lot of money behind you, or maybe not even a lot of money, maybe just like a year's worth of cash behind you, even if that can tide you over and give yourself a year to focus on trading, it will hurt watching those savings go down. That will put pressure on you, and it will make you force trades. It will make you look for opportunities that aren't there, and it will stress you out. It will make you not enjoy trading. It will make you kind of resent it, especially when you go through losing periods. It will affect your patience. You will you'll come to the charts every single day like obsessed with trying to make money because you need to get out of your job, or you've taken a month off and it's come to the end of that month and you're still in the same position. So yeah, I would say if you're trading in any capacity, have a side income, make trading your side income until it gets to a point where it makes no sense to continue like your main source of income. Trading should take over. Even then, you should have something in place, in my opinion, to tide you over, especially if you've got a family, because it can all go tits up. I know of examples of guys online that they look like profitable traders. They've been trading 3 years or so, 2-3 years. You can catch really good market cycles, like 2022, for example, when all the interest rates were going crazy. Like every month something new was happening. There was just extreme volatility. Loads of people made loads of money. And then when the market turns, they lose it all. They give it all back. And really, after 10 years of trading, I've realized I've been in that situation myself. That's why I can recognize it. When I was 3 years in, I made a load of cash and I thought, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to live this international playboy millionaire lifestyle. And then you give it all back, and then you kind of realize what it actually takes. So I would say, even if you found some sort of success with it, there's always something like a curveball around the corner that can throw you off your game, whether that's market conditions or something in your personal life, or simply that you haven't got your 1,000 reps. So, even for me, for example, I am, as much as I'm giving away for free on YouTube and doing this online through my Substack and X, I still want to make money off of it. It will help me with my trading massively. It will allow me to risk more. It just takes a little bit more pressure off of what I'm doing. So absolutely make sure that you're not relying on trading income solely. Even the top guys that you'll see online, like Tom Dante and Will Hunting and those kind of people, have all got side income despite how good they are at trading and how much money they make trading. So if they're doing it, why wouldn't you? Next point, find enjoyment in trading. If you don't enjoy it, you won't make a success of it. You won't push through the losing periods. You won't do the work. You won't do the work that's required of you to be successful in trading because you just don't really enjoy it. For example, a lot of people don't rate backtesting. It's not fun. I sometimes enjoy it, I sometimes don't, but I have a passion for trading. I have a passion for working out the markets. I have a passion for understanding why things move the way that they do. Like I said in previous videos, I get enjoyment out of analyzing something and being correct. It's not so much the money, it's that kind of being right about something, that feeling. I really enjoy it. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I've seen trading from 10 years ago, from 5 years ago to now, everyone and their mother comes into trading now to make a quick buck. And then they realize that it's not as easy as that. And then they stick with it because they see it as their way out, as their meal ticket, as their chance to get rich because they haven't got anything else. But they're not really enjoying it. They're not doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it for the paycheck. And That's just not the right way to go about things. You won't journal all of your trades. You won't then sit through drawdown periods and figuring out all the issues that is wrong with you, not just you with your trading, but with your mindset. You won't go down the rabbit holes that are required to be gone down to improve your trading if you don't find enjoyment from it. Obviously, how do you just go, yeah, I really enjoy it now. I really enjoy trading. You can't. That's something you have to find yourself. Maybe it's a different time frame. Maybe it's a different market. Maybe it's maybe it's not even trading. Maybe it's just doing analysis and being like a what do you call them? Like like a chartist. Just like an analyst. But you got to find what you enjoy out of the trading world to make it in there. Next point, number 9. Write down your edge with objective language so that you properly understand it. A couple of years ago, I took a mentorship with a guy called Brian at Inside Out Trading. I had an edge which I couldn't really coherently write down. I didn't really know how to. It is a skill. And if you go through my X, if you go through my YouTube, if you know anything to do with my trading, you'll know that I always use supply and demand trading. I use things like FTRs, failure to return, which is a term from readthemarket.com. And if I was explaining that to a new trader, they wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. If I use objective language to be able to define my edge, I have a better understanding of what I'm talking about to be able to put it simply to someone else. The benefits of writing your edge down is that not only is it burned into your head because you've actually written it down there, you've kind of committed to it, because instead of just opening the charts in the morning and then just kind of going, oh, I'm looking for support and then I'll buy support or I'll sell resistance, you have an actual formulated plan, and you have if-then statements to know that if X happens, then I'm going to do Y. If X happens then I'll do Y. And so on and so forth. It just creates a level of understanding that you can't really appreciate until you've done it. It all feels a little bit finger in the air and testing the wind, otherwise, I've found. But if you want to take trading seriously, if you want to make money on it, if you want to be a consistent trader, you have to do little things like this. Like I said, you have to find enjoyment in this, even in the stuff that is kind of, it's the grunt work. It's not that fun. I do just want to sit on the chart, draw a line and hit the buy button. But it's a real key thing. You have to kind of, like I said right at the beginning, about keeping yourself to yourself. You're doing the work for you and you alone. You're not looking for validation from anyone else. You're working this out for you. And to write it down, it will just send you down a path of giving you a framework and then being able to piece together little things from other areas and create different versions of that framework from your starting point, because it will evolve. Your edge will evolve. And this leads nicely to my final point number 10. Stick with it. Stick with what you're doing. It's all about edge refinement. It's not about something doesn't work after a little while and then I'm just going to go and find the next shiny thing. Or this dude on Twitter has got this thing and it's working when mine isn't, so I'm going to go and do what he does. I think this is the biggest problem traders face, is that they don't stick with what they should be doing. If you've got a particular pattern, for example, like a bull flag, everyone knows what a bull flag is. And that's going to be the only pattern that you trade. Every time you see a bull flag, you buy it. You buy the breakout or you buy the dip at the low, whatever. It's not always going to work. When it doesn't work, if you jump to something else, you've just got rid of a load of data for absolutely no reason. You've got to find when that works, that pattern works, when it doesn't work, what conditions it doesn't work in, When the failure of that pattern happens, can you flip the other way? Little things like that, but you won't get there unless you stick with it. Obviously, you have to do some testing to understand and find out if your edge is actually profitable, but you won't do that. Sorry. You have to find out your edge is profitable. That's a given. Once you've found out it's profitable, and you can find that out within like 20 trades, and then you stick with it. If it's not profitable, obviously you have to find something else. But going forwards with it, the more time you spend on that one particular pattern, you'll get a really deep understanding of it. You'll see it everywhere. You will, again, it doesn't have to be a pattern. It could be like an indicator. It could be when price dips below the moving average and then reclaims it above. Like that's your strategy. But you'll have to find the conditions when it works. You can then start grading certain indicators from the market of when it works. If the volume is X, if it's this time of day, if price is above resistance, all these kind of things. But you won't get there unless you stick with it. You're just throwing out a load of work. Have you seen that meme, that little cartoon of the guy mining for diamonds with his pickaxe, and then he gives up, and it's like that little thin bit of wall and all the diamonds on the other side? It's kind of like that. But like I said right at the beginning, you need about 1,000 reps to kind of really work out at it. But again, you have to find an enjoyment in doing this, because when it doesn't work, you'll think it's like an intellectual curiosity. Why didn't it work? And when you figure out why it didn't work, can you make money from when it didn't work? So yeah, I've rambled on quite a lot. I hope this has been enjoyable. I hope you've found it useful. I think there's been a decent amount of value in it. If you want more, go check out this backtesting video. I haven't included backtesting in this list, but I think it's really important. Thank you.